Have you ever heard the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? It's a funny saying because it's so true. The first time I met Carlos Aguado was when I was at the IMC event, International Maxwell Conference, in February of this year. I was standing at this table looking at some paperwork, just a little confused, and this man comes walking over to me and says, "Excuse me, I was sitting over there watching you, and this feeling came over my heart. And I felt like like God wanted me to come over and talk to you. You look troubled. How can I help?" Now I know the accent's not perfect with it, but it was something like that. And he was right. You know, I turned to him and I said, "My name is Robert Gavanter, and yeah, I am troubled. I got a lot of stuff going on." And what I love about Carlos is that as a coach, he not only deeply cares and wants me to succeed, but he doesn't judge me or criticize me for my errors and bad judgment. And he doesn't yes me. You know, he really pushes me to do things that I normally wouldn't do, and gets me to really see different perspectives of situations that I would never be able to find on my own. But through his questioning, I'm able to find these answers that are within me that I never knew that they were there. And the thing I love the most is his questions. They not only direct me, but they make me see with myself the confusion and the self-limiting beliefs that are stopping me from becoming the person, you know, my best self. Carlos has this radiance and beauty about him when he talks about God. You know, that's one of the first things that really joined us. You know, as I like to say, brothers. I mean, he is definitely a brother from another mother. I tell you, he is. You know, our faith, our deep-seated faith and belief in God, has made it possible for us when we're talking about different life experience to be able to bring that perspective and those views in, that then is able to help me see life in a different way. You know, and one of the areas that we talk about is the beauty and miracle of life and what we see every day, and those miracles that happen in our lives that makes us realize how lucky we are to be here and how grateful we are to be alive. And one example of a perspective that totally changed how I was viewing things was when I did this presentation at my temple on the Book of Ruth. And I was talking about choices, you know, how choices that we make over here, these little choices are insignificant, how they can have a massive impact over here. And as we were discussing, you know, how it went, he said, "How'd you do?" And I said, "Well, you know, man, I don't know if you know, I was really trying to speak from my heart and have people realize, you know, how beautiful life is, and how it's not just by chance that we're here, but we're all here for a reason. We all have a mission. We all have something that we're supposed to do while we are here." And as we were discussing that, you know, he said to me, you know, "Do you think, you know, you added value to people? Or how did you add value to people?" And I kept saying, "Well, I did speak from my heart, but, you know, I don't know. I started I have this way of judging and criticizing myself, you know, this self-limiting beliefs I've carried with me all my life. That's one area he's really helped me in a lot, I gotta tell you. But, you know, I was getting really critical, and he asked me a question, and then from that question, I was able to realize that I was, I guess, taking God's place in how I was created, you know, because all of us were created to be as perfect beings. God created us the way that He wanted us to be here. And then we take what we have, and then we were able to then create ourselves. But me judging myself is taking His place and basically judging God and saying, "You didn't do a good job." I don't want to do that. I don't want to judge the main man. I'm not going to do that. So when he made me realize that, it made me realize that what I was saying that day really, it mattered on what I was saying, but it didn't matter on how I did. because there were people there that day that needed to hear the message that God was bringing through me. And once he said that to me, once he made me realize that, and I got that different angle on what I was saying, it totally changed. It's like you hear something sometime and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, and then you hear it another time and it's like, like, you know, like when like a dog turns its head to the side. That makes sense. And it was beautiful. And basically I just came out of it thinking, you know what, I can't judge myself, because it's like judging God. And I have to realize that things I'm saying all the time, when I'm speaking from my heart, when I'm talking to people from my heart, it's not just me saying it, but it's me being an advocate for God. It's me being a godly person, a righteous person who wants to do good, and then presenting that to people in a way where then they can feel it. They can feel it enter them. And that adding value in that way, it means everything to me. And Carlos really struck that one home. I mean, you know, he did a great job with that. And, you know, I just want to say that Carlos is a redeemer of life. And he's an agent of change. And he is so highly conscious and intentional about what he says and his view and his perspective and the way that he's able to get me to see life from a different way. That's the best way I can explain it. He's amazing to me. And I am so grateful and thankful that God spoke to him that day and brought that feeling upon his heart where he came over to me and started talking to me at that event. Because my life from the time that we started talking has totally changed by way of what I am doing now and how I'm pushing myself to do things that I would never do before. And I just want to say, I really appreciate you, man, and I love you, and I think that you are awesome. And I really wish there were millions of you on this planet, because this planet would be such a better place. But we're working our way towards there every single day. So add value to others, be your best self, and speak goodness over yourself, because in the end, the only one who's going to love you the most is yourself. Have a good day.